Okay, thanks for joining this webinar. Today we're going to be covering cloud integrations, APIs, and why they matter. So the agenda for this webinar is we're going to start with what are cloud integrations and APIs. So just going through the basics, and then how are they beneficial to our customers. Then we'll talk through some talk tracks on cloud integrations and APIs and how to sell them with BT CloudWork as they're embedded in the product. And we'll go through some vertical stories and some sales tools that we've built for you in this regard. And then there will be an open Q&A. Okay, let's start from the beginning, which is what are cloud integrations and APIs? And before I go into definitions, I do want to dive into the topic of why did cloud integrations become popular and what need are they fulfilling? So there's a couple needs they are addressing and reasons why they've become popular in the first place. The first being that we live in a mobile-first world. Every tool we use, everything we do needs to be on mobile more than it needs to be on desktop today for it to be used. Up to 70% of the internet traffic comes from mobile devices. So whatever we build for productivity, driving revenues, operational efficiencies, it must be compatible with mobile or mobile friendly, or it won't be used or widespread. Data overload. So with the rise of big data, artificial intelligence, and cloud repositories, for now storing endless amounts of data, we have a need to direct this data towards the applications we use and the applications that matter in our business. So data just sitting in the cloud, not being used, is a waste, and businesses recognize this. So they've started looking into ways to leverage all this endless amounts of data and get an edge on their competition with it. SaaS, or software as a service, dominant enterprises. So an IDC study done in 2017 said that 73% of companies interviewed said they would have nearly all, or about 80% of their business applications in the SaaS model by 2020, so by today. So they're likely refreshing this study as we speak. But we all know that SaaS is going to be the future model for enterprise software consumption, and the SaaS world is what gave birth to the need for cloud apps to speak to each other and drive efficiencies. We'll go more into that later. And the Internet of Things. Now, the Internet of Things has not taken off as quickly as maybe some of the analysts might have projected, but that's not to say it will not take off, or it is still not in our sight line. It certainly will, and I think as Internet of Things starts solving our daily business problems, like how can I manage my fleet so there's less idle time and there's less petroleum wasted? Or how can I manage my office operations so we don't waste money on heating and lighting when we don't need to? These type of applications need to talk to each other and provide reporting and tracking that will give, drive even more need for cloud integrations. And so in summary, effectively, where did this need come from? The need came from the fact that all your applications must be able to communicate seamlessly and in real time together. It's as simple as that. And why cloud matters, especially right now, given everything that's happened in the market with the pandemic, and now we're heading into possibly a recession, and some people are talking about depression, and CIOs are being asked to cut their budgets from 5 to 20%, and the only category that is not being cut is cloud communications. Security as well. Security is also being, salvaged, but cloud communications is actually the only cloud category that's going to increase, given that we're heading into a recession. And why is that? It's because cloud is actually cost efficient for IT. Moving to cloud off of an on-premise system is actually often saving them money. And so they're recognizing this, and we're going to see a shift towards cloud technology and the cloud adoption accelerated. So this was actually done by the Boston Consulting Group in April 2020, and it was a survey of 700 CIOs. And so what are cloud integrations and APIs? I know these words get thrown out a lot and sometimes they're not explained to everyone properly. So we want to take a basic approach to explaining them. Now I know there's a lot of text on this slide and this will probably be the most techie slide, and I'm going to try to keep it as high level as possible. So on the most basic level, a cloud integration means bringing multiple cloud environments together, either in a hybrid deployment or as multiple public clouds, so that they can operate as a single cohesive IT ecosystem for the enterprise. So on a deeper dive on this concept, it's not quite as basic as that, but that is a very high level understanding of it. And so there's 3 terms you should know in terms of this world: cloud integration, cloud API, and cloud SaaS API. So we went through the high level of what a cloud integration is. What is a cloud API? So a cloud API is a programming interface that enables the development of applications. So effectively, just think of it as a programming interface. And then a cloud SaaS API is an application level programming interface. And the goal is to connect the application layer with the cloud or the underlying IT infrastructure. You know, in terms of going deeper than that, I want to keep it high level, but you know, essentially, the goal is to enhance collaboration between knowledge workers. That's what these cloud SaaS APIs and cloud APIs do. And they allow companies to build integrations. So a pre-built cloud integration would be built already and you could just leverage it as is. But if you've got a custom scenario and you need to build an integration, cloud APIs make that possible. So why do we need cloud integrations? You know, today's workplace in terms of app overload is phenomenal. So obviously everyone is using so many different applications for email, programs, file sharing, task management, voice, social media, you know, storing of documents. And the app overload is not just in, you know, the productivity suite. We're also just in communications. Half of the workers use more than 4 communication apps at a time. So 4 different communication apps. So you can see that it's chaotic. And it's also very damaging to productivity and you know, just cohesive business operations. And then when you're looking at, you know, what does app overload do to your workforce? Time is money, and a disjointed workplace are costing us. So, you know, more than 2/3 of workers say that they waste up to 60 minutes a day navigating between apps. And 70% of workers find that, you know, communication volume is a challenge. So, you know, having this many tools, while it is a blessing, it is also a curse in disguise. And so one of our most popular integrations that's asked about or used is our CRM integrations. And so obviously the most popular of our CRM integrations is Salesforce. So out of all the customers that look into our integration, 70% of them are first asking about Salesforce integration. So it's obviously very, very important to customers. And why is that? You know, sales are directly related to a company's revenue. And so, you know, in today's competitive environment, it's really, really important to do everything you can to have your competitive edge in sales. And so, you know, like the integration between your communication system and your CRM system allows you to respond to leads in a much more timely manner. I have some data on this and we'll get into it in the next slide. But, you know, it helps you, the one click to dial, auto logging notes to opportunities, contacts, and accounts. This not only makes sure that the data in Salesforce is more accurate, but it also saves you time and gets your salespeople working on more leads. You can measure performance. So when your communication system is linked to your CRM system, you can view a complete dashboard of your sales reps, total calls, average duration per call, average amount of calls per day, call disposition, call direction. Now this is probably more relevant and maybe not in enterprise sales, but more in SME sales. But you have to remember that SME is the majority of the economy, and it's really, really relevant for desk-based sales and inside sales. And you can do more with your people and do more with the same amount of people. So it's just increasing your efficiencies, reducing idle time, and reducing administrative work on salespeople that they don't necessarily want to do anyways. And then you can also integrate your CRM with your contact center. So as you guys know, we have a contact center product as well, and that gives you true end-to-end customer management and one view of the customer, which is the same for sales as it is for support. And so, the salespeople will know when the customer has called into the support line or called in to troubleshoot 4 or 5 times. And that's not a disjointed data in your systems. So here is some interesting data on the cloud SaaS explosion, and it kind of shows, like, it's a bit of a foreshadow of what's going to happen to all applications, in my opinion, and why app integrations are so strong and important, and how they actually lead to stronger business outcomes. So as you can see, there's some data here. It's been done by the Nucleus Research Group, and they found that companies that have mobile CRM, so a mobile app for their CRM software, 78% of them achieve their sales target versus only 35% when they don't have it, which is, that is insane. And so, I did it wrong. So companies with a mobile CRM, 65% of them achieve their sales quota versus 22% who do not. And you can see 81% of users are now accessing their CRM from multiple devices. So just the same as CRM, they also need to access their communication system from laptop, desktop, smartphone, tablet. This is not unique to salespeople. All people in the organization need that unified app experience, and CRM is just kind of the first app to really explode into the cloud world. And then, CRM app integrations, the initiatives by Impact. So then when CRM started integrating with customer service software, with marketing automation software, with knowledge management software, there were so many operational efficiencies and gains that just kind of resulted in the global move to cloud-based CRM solutions. So as you can see, in 2008, 88% of CRMs were on-premise, and now 87% of CRMs are cloud-based. So the move was pretty quick and pretty phenomenal, Salesforce being one of the leaders and dominant players in this category. And so vertical integrations, and this is specific to our product, BT Cloudwork, and how do they matter, and how are integrations giving us a vertical strategy? And so, when we talk about vertical strategy at RingCentral, it's more than just marketing campaigns. We've actually verticalized features of the product and our go-to-market strategy. So product and marketing work together to attack certain verticals that are important to RingCentral. So obviously, marketing, we do a deep dive into the segment and create verticalized use cases, thought leadership, solution-based selling materials that you guys can use. And then the product team comes in and they actually customize the product for the vertical and build integrations specific to that vertical. And so as you can see here, underneath the certifications, it says some integration. So one of them being Smarsh. So for the financial services industry, Smarsh is really, really important. It's a financial services compliance tool. And what they basically say is you can communicate and collaborate without risk. So they're a leader in financial services communication compliance. And so our integration into Smarsh allows customers the ability to capture, archive, and e-discovery every piece of communications content that is delivered on our platform. So if they want to move to cloud, if they want agility, flexibility, scalability, but want to stay compliant in the financial services industry, we have made that available to them. And by partnering with Smarsh and creating this pre-built integration, it's just a few clicks and your entire organization is completely compliant to your industry. And so it's these kind of integrations that give you that competitive differentiation when you're going up against, say, 8x8s and up against the Ciscos of the world. A lot of them can't say they have our integration ecosystem and not quite as deep or as many plug-and-play integrations. So vertical integrations, another example is retail, where we've done this. And we've done this in many, many verticals, but I just wanted to pull out a few that are topical. So one of the clients our direct team sold was to Waitrose. So that was 45,000 users. And so one of the things that tipped the deal in our favor was that Waitrose needed a use case of a Zebra integration. And so they have these Zebra devices in all of their retail stores, and their staff are armed with these Zebra devices, and they wanted to keep them because I guess they must have made an investment, and they're a bit dated and very niche devices, but they needed their communication system to integrate into this device. And so we went out and showed them exactly how agile our product is and how easily it could integrate. And we built this integration for them, this Zebra integration. And it was one of the deciding factors for them to choose our product over the competitors because of how easy and fast we could build it. So this is an example of how you can win on selling cloud integrations with this product. And so more cloud integration benefits, they keep apps synced in real time. They integrate opportunity to order apps. They connect back office apps. They bring hybrid environments together. They sync data in the cloud real time, and they monetize app services with API management. So, cloud integrations is going to be the future of cloud, and it's really exciting that RingCentral has such a strong platform in this capability. So BT Cloud Work and cloud integrations. So clearly the time for manually creating integrations is, from scratch has passed. That was kind of the way when, integrations first came to be. Everyone was creating their own. And to keep up with the rapid pace of SaaS adoption, there was a new approach to integration needed. And so one that involves offering kind of integration platforms as a service via the cloud. And to be honest, really the company that started this is Salesforce. If you know about their Salesforce app gallery or their Salesforce app ecosystem, they are the ones who kind of started this approach where, integration enables you to rapidly connect their app to so many other apps, whether it's on-premise or in the cloud, and easily move between apps. And it was really all about empowering users to across enterprises to effectively drive innovation and support changing business needs. So it was Salesforce that started this, and many companies followed suit, including RingCentral. And so we want our customers to understand that our ecosystem is just like that. And so where we bring high value companies together, and so you can search for hundreds of, I think it's over 200 now, out-of-box integrations to solve for your workflows, or you can use our API. So effectively, if we've not already built the integration, if you have developers on stuff, they can develop a custom integration as quickly as we did for Waitrose and Zebra. It took less than a month, and build their own integration into whatever. And so this is a huge strength of our platform. And so there's many different integration types, and you can pick your favorite type. So no code is the pre-built integrations. That's where I've mentioned we have over 100 ready-to-use integrations for today's most popular apps. Then we have low code, where you can embed a fully functional soft phone with voice and messaging with just a single snippet of HTML. So that's what we call the low code integration. And then pro code, which is more of the API, where you can build what you want, how you want, and use our award-winning API and friendly SDK library. And so I'm not going to go into these slides. So this is just an example. I have a bunch of appendices of very popular integrations. So this is an example of one of those slides. So this is the Salesforce for Sales Cloud. So this slide will just show you a few screen pops, what it looks like to have the integration, and just some talking points and feature points. So if you guys want to include these in your presentations to customers, feel free to. They're just to help you sell with integrations. And here's another slide that's really more about just communicating to customers that BT Cloud Work is open to anything. You can integrate your essential business app, 100+ out-of-box, no coding needed integrations. We have got thousands of APIs and a self-service developer portal. So really easy to use, and integrations is our differentiator. And just to kind of reiterate this point, what I find about integrations is actually it keeps your customers stickier. So we've actually found that customers that are leveraging integrations are less likely to churn, than customers that aren't. And that's because, when you leverage an integration to further embed the software into your other mission critical apps, it's just harder to leave. And the customer have put up a barrier themselves to not leave, because they've invested even further into your system and the software that you've sold them. So we actually find, speaking about integrations, and if you're able to sell with integrations, which, by the way, they don't cost anything extra, they're just included in the product, it just helps your customers stay sticky. And yeah, this is just highlighting that, we are the leader in integrations, and it's a huge differentiator for RingCentral and BT Cloudwork. No one can really toot the amount of out-of-box and open APIs that we have. And yeah, so feel free to lead with integrations. So in summary, BT Cloudwork drives value for our customers. We know that BT Cloudwork integrations are really easy to use. I did want to drive this home that, there's so many ways to do it. You don't even have to have any kind of development background to leverage integrations with this product. And it drives customer stickiness, as we mentioned. It's harder to rip out the code, or once you get used to a certain experience and it being embedded in your ecosystem, it's harder to rip it out. So we have a bunch of resources for you as it relates to BT Cloudwork and integration. So there's an app gallery. So if you search RingCentral integrations or RingCentral app gallery, you will find all the pre-built integrations. Under the product, you could do the drop down and select BT, and you'll see all the integrations that are rebranded for you. And just because an integration is not rebranded for BT doesn't mean you can't leverage it. So I think we've got a few integrations where it's fully rebranded for BT, but then the rest of the integrations you can leverage, but they just won't be branded in BT. They'll be branded by RingCentral. And then we have a developer site where you can look at developer products, guide, tutorials, and this is more for customers who are interested in looking further into our integrations. And then the appendices, which are some pre-built slides on our most popular integrations, and hopefully these can help you sell with integrations. And that's it.